Alrighty, Utah fans, this is Jed Wonderly with the Utah Sports Report, and it is time for some bowl coverage. Now, bowl season hasn't actually started yet, but we know who's playing in all 42 bowls, and according to CBS Sports, the third-ranked bowl, which is the first-ranked bowl outside of the two CFP bowl games, is the Rose Bowl between Utah and The Ohio State University. Now, if there's any Ohio State fans watching this, I'm having a little fun with the quotes because it's kind of funny that you guys say The Ohio State University, because isn't there only one Ohio State University? And I know there's other like University of Ohio and that kind of thing, but I don't think there's another Ohio State University, and therefore you have to differentiate it by saying The Ohio State University. At any rate, they're a heck of a team, and in this episode of the Utah Sports Report, we are going to talk about the offensive side of the ball for Ohio State and what we're going to have to stop if we want to win the game. And we'll be back right after this. All righty. We're back, and we are ready to discuss the incredible offense that Ohio State has and what Utah has got to prepare for in order to be able to slow down. You're not going to stop that offense, but we got to be able to slow them down enough, and then, of course, do enough with our offense to have a chance at winning that game. Now, as far as content between now and the Rose Bowl, since there are no more football games other than the Rose Bowl, I'm hoping to have a couple of special guests on the show, and former players that I knew when I was going through school way back in the day. Some good guys that I played a lot of basketball with. And try to get some of their insight for the game. But we'll also do some basketball stuff. We've got a basketball game that is tonight. This is being filmed on the 8th. And so we're playing in basketball. We're playing TCU tonight. So there you have it. Let's get right to it with the analysis of the offense for Ohio State. So, Ohio State has the leading candidate for the Heisman Trophy. He's a freshman quarterback, and what a season that young man has had. And we're going to talk a little bit about his stats so that you can see the kind of season he's had. His name's C.J. Stroud, by the way. And he has a QBR of 84. He's thrown for 3,862 yards. He's got a 70.9% completion rate. I mean, this kid, this young man is a stud. He's well built. He can run. He runs well, but he's very good at keeping his eyes up and on his receivers so that as he, when he has to leave the pocket, he's still looking downfield for open receivers. Now, he's very good, but when you're a quarterback, in order for you to be good, you need to have the people you're throwing to be good so that they catch the ball, so that your completion rate is better and you get more yards and all that kind of thing. Should go without saying, but just in case it doesn't, I said it. So he's got 3 receivers that he throws to who are projected to be first-round draft picks. Let's start off with the guy that has my favorite name of all the receivers. That's Jackson Smith and Jigba. That's just kind of a cool name. I like that name. That's kind of fun to say. He leads the team in both receptions and yards, receiving yards. He has 80 receptions and he has 1,259 receiving yards. And now the one thing that gives me a little bit of hope with covering the receivers is that none of them are like really big receivers. Like the young man from USC, his name escapes me, but that guy was 6'5" and just hard to deal with. These guys are all around 6 feet, 6'1", and they're 190-ish pounds, give or take. Smith and Jigba is, I think, 197 pounds. You've got the next one is that I'll talk about. I think that some draft boards have him rated as the highest of the three, and that his name is Garrett Wilson. Now, he's their second leading receiver. He had 70 receptions. So the first one had 80, the second one had 70, and he had just over 1,000 yards, 1,058 yards receiving. Our leading receiver, just for context, it was Brant Keithy, and he had 40-something receptions, 42, 41, something like that, with 534 yards or something like that receiving. So nowhere near the production that these receivers have. Of course, we didn't throw the ball nearly as much as they did. Now, Chris Olave is their biggest receiver of the bunch in terms of height. He's 6'1", 189 pounds, had 65 receptions, and just missed the 1,000-yard mark with 936 yards. So 3 very productive receivers. Between the two of them, they have about 3,250 yards. They have about a little over 240 completions. I mean, very, very good. Actually, let's see. No, it's more like 220 or so completions. And very, very good receiving core there. Then they have a freshman running back by the name of Tavion Henderson. Travion Henderson. Very close to Tavion Thomas. And this young man is 5'10", 210 pounds, so not an overly big back, but definitely a decent size. And he's fast and he's strong. And as a freshman, he had 167 carries for 1,172 yards for a 7 yards per carry average. That's solid, very solid. Now, some of that's, of course, helped by having a passing game where teams can't stack the box. Another thing is that is also aided by an offensive line that is obviously both good in pass protection and in the run game. So it'll be interesting to see what Scally and Coach Witt come up with relative to scheming to try to slow down these offensive weapons. And then, of course, there's quality players behind these guys as well. It's going to be an interesting matchup on defense. Of course, we're also thinner than we already were in our secondary, having lost our freshman cornerback Zemiah Vaughn for the season. I've heard different things about what injuries it are. I'm not going to speculate and try to guess, but he has had surgery and hopes to be back for next season. I hope he is. He was a good player and worked hard to earn a scholarship. So that is where we're at. Let me give you a few more stats. Ohio State averages 45.5 points a game. They average 551 yards per game on offense. 551 yards a game on offense. That's a lot. That's a lot. The funny thing is that their time of possession is only 29 minutes and 40 seconds. So that their offense has the ball less than half the game. Granted, it's only 20 seconds less than half the game, but it's less than half the game. And they're doing all that in a short amount of time. So that tells me that they've got a lot of big play capability. And if you look at the longest plays for the receivers, I think the shortest play of the long plays between the top 3 receivers is like 65 yards. The top 2 receivers both have long plays of upwards of 70 yards. And then Trevion, the running back, also has, I believe, a 70-yard touchdown run or something. So they have a lot of big plays and certainly a lot of big play capability. Now, they average 364.9 yards a game passing and 186.2 yards a game rushing. So obviously more pass heavy, but when you have 3 projected first-round receivers, we'd probably be more pass heavy if we had that. Now, for perspective, Utah in 13 games, that was over 12 games for Ohio State because they didn't play in the conference championship. But for perspective, Utah, who didn't break 400 the last 2 games against Oregon, didn't need to. A lot of our touchdowns were shorter fields, 50 to 60 yards, maybe 65 in a few cases. But we didn't need to have really long drives most of our touchdowns. But we averaged 428.6 yards a game on offense, and we also have an average of 30 minutes and 33 seconds in terms of time of possession. So we do control it a little bit more. Our points per game is 35.6 points per game, so just under 10 points less per game on average for our offense than Ohio State's. So it will be an interesting matchup to see what we can do, and we'll have to see if we can concoct a defensive scheme that will slow them down enough, and an offensive plan that will allow us to be successful enough and consistent enough to be able to do what we need to do to come out with a score that's higher than theirs. So that's it for the game. We'll talk more about the other side of the ball, defense, next week. And in the meantime, I'm going to let you enjoy some highlights from the conference championship game, and then we'll chat about that a little bit after this.
Britton Covey, the electric, diminutive returner, is deep for the Utes. And he'll bring it. Covey, who returned a punt against the Ducks in round 1, stays alive. Man, is he a dangerous returner. Gives the Utes choose not to buzz it down. And now in a first down throw, a slant is complete. Rising looking to throw again on first down. Flips it underneath, and the catch is made by Britton Covey, who cuts it back. Covey. He's got the football, and he walks in. And the Utes, razor sharp with the opening possession. They get 61 yards. Could not have drawn it up any better than that. Nice run-pass mix. Utes rush 4. Brown straight back, and it's picked off. It's Lloyd, headed for the end zone. Pick 6. Devin Lloyd. The Butkus finalist and first-round pick, captain, leader of this team, Kirk. Protection breaking down, and they've got him at the 5. The Utes are swarming. Keeper again. Rising, stiff arm. Loses the football, scramble on the sidelines. It goes out of bounds. And Utah's going to maintain possession. Sewell was in on the... Rising on 3rd and long, right down the middle. A seam shot caught. And down to the 10 is Dalton Kincaid. Rising with pressure, closing in, delivers a strike across the middle. Dalton Kincaid, and the tight ends dominant on that drive as the Utes stretch it to a 3-touchdown lead. Plays downfield have been really hard to come by. Tafua chasing Brown. They close in on him. He gets around the corner and just flings it, and is picked off. So a disastrous decision. Thought he was just going to to throw it away or keep it. And Matahele makes an interception, and the Utes have 8 seconds to try to add to this lead.
Wow. What's some, I thought he was just going to step out of bounds, obviously, or just throw it away. Great pressure without blitzing.
Pledger's the back. Fake it to him, rising on the keep. Some tackles. Rising in the secondary. Weaving his way all the way down to the 40-yard line. Cam Rising makes an electric play.
Little zone read.
First and goal here now. And Thomas barrels in. The trick, Pledger check it. Rising. Escapes and scampers in. And the Utah faithful, they can smell it. The Rose Bowl beckons. They're jumping around on the far side of the field as the Utes again.
To me, that's kind of corner you dream about.
Bernard knifing into the secondary. And is tackled at the 40-yard line.
That's what they talk about, is being a team that's gonna. They went to Columbus. Think of that team that went to Columbus.
In motion, Rising took a look, dodged the tackle. They still can't get into the ground. It's another first down in the red zone. And the crowd just appreciating the determination that this team continues to show.
Yeah, Utah.
Thomas again patiently picks his way, lowers the shoulder, and just runs over folks. It's first and goal. Down, and Rising feeds it to him. That was easy. He's walked in twice. And Utah putting a foot in the Ducks. It's a party in Vegas. Look out.
Something really beautiful about one running back and 3 tight ends.
Look out, look out.
Look out.
Oh, the second time in 13 days. It looked exactly what happened in Salt Lake City. But this one's
Okay. Hope you enjoyed those highlights. I was there at the game. It was a fantastic atmosphere. The stadium was really nice. Fun to see that. And boy, it was amazing how many Utah fans we had down there, and the fans. I mean the players and the coaches. You noted how many fans that there were and really appreciated the support. And, man, it was a heck of a fun game to be at. The atmosphere, again, was just incredible and dominant again from the start. It was great to see us get back out and start the game with a touchdown drive again. We hadn't done that the last couple of games, and we did this game. So that was a great start. And then, just shutting them down on defense, just, basically suffocating them. I mean, we held them to fewer yards this time than we did last time, and last time it was very, very good in terms of what we did. And, Devin Lloyd's interception at, pick 6, what a play that was. And that had to really kind of take a little bit of the wind out of the sails for him. And then just from there, we were up. Should have been 21, but we had to have our typical, or what unfortunately seems typical, special teams muff, where we had a bad snap or something along those lines. I think the holder said the snap was a little bit high, from what I recall. So we missed the extra point. So we were up 20-0, and then. Very funny, very similar to that first game against Oregon. They get the ball back on a kickoff after we go up 20-0 with about, I think it was 26 seconds left on the clock, something along those lines. It was very close to what they had when they got it back at toward the end of the first half, when we 3-and-outed them, and Covey ran the punt back for a touchdown. And I was hoping that, didn't think there would be, but I was hoping that there could be some other kind of miracle. And Brown, of course, gets the ball, gets the ball from center and rolls out and looking down the field. And it looks like he's just going to go out of bounds. And for some inexplicable reason, as he's jumping out of bounds, he decides to throw it. He sees a receiver and tries to throw it to him. And I can't even imagine what he's thinking when he makes that throw. First of all, the coaches will always tell you, don't throw back across your body, which is exactly what he had to do for this throw. And he's jumping out of bounds, and he's trying to do this. Throws back across his body, and we intercept it. I was like, I can't believe this. This is too good to be true. I looked at my daughter, who I was sitting next to, and I said, well, there's one of two things they could do. They could either take one shot to the end zone, or they could do like a quick out where, trying to pick up 6, 7, 8 yards, something like that, to get a little closer for a field goal. That's what they did. I think it was a quick out to Covey, if I remember correctly. And then Jaden Redden hit that field goal, I believe, 50 yards. It was, I think, exactly 50 yards. He nailed it, kind of making up for the previous little muff up that the special teams had. He made a good kick, and we went in 23-0 at half. First time it was 28-0 at half. So very similar. And we didn't even give up a touchdown to them. I think it was about halfway through the fourth quarter. So complete domination the whole time. We were up 38-3 before we gave up that touchdown. And I think, even though we had a lot of our main players in on defense, I think, we were kind of done. But regardless of that last touchdown, it was what a game that was. That was so much fun. Showed that the first one wasn't a fluke. When you do something like that, basically twice in a row, the same kind of thing, it's not a fluke. That's who we are. And that gives me a lot of hope for the upcoming game against Ohio State. Now, granted, Ohio State, again, has an amazing offense. Their defense is not all that great. Not like it has been in the past. In fact, Ohio State reminds me a little bit of, like they're an they're not on the East Coast, but an Eastern version of Oklahoma. Oklahoma, under Lincoln Riley, has had some great offenses, but defenses have been very marginal. Looks like they've got good players, but maybe just not in a good scheme. And I think that's exactly kind of Ohio State's situation right now. They've got a great offense, and their players on defense look like they're good players, just maybe not the best scheme. And maybe that's why Ohio State just announced the hiring of a new defensive coordinator. But he's not going to be doing much, if any, for the bowl game, because really you certainly can't install a new system or anything, in 3 weeks, give or take. So it'll be interesting to see again how we do on the offensive side of things relative to trying to keep pace with them in scoring. If our defense can't stop them, our defense definitely needs to stop them several times, and of course we need to score several times, and preferably more than them, and preferably touchdowns and not field goals. That all goes without saying, but it's kind of fun to say. So, at any rate, that's kind of the initial preview of what we're up against, and I hope you enjoyed the Oregon highlights again. A fantastic experience, and we'll be back next week with some more analysis on the other side of the ball and what we have to face there. Also, again, I'll try to have line up one of my guests within that next week as well. Get that to you. In the meantime, please like and subscribe. Click that subscribe button down below. And please feel free to share this with any of your Utah fans. I'd love to have as many people get the content that I'm putting out. Also, by the way, I have a cold, so I actually don't have a cold. I'm getting over a cold. I'm almost over it, but that's why my voice is a little bit So, also, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think we're going to do to Ohio State, how we're going to be able to handle them, what your thoughts are relative to, are we going to win or lose, what you think the score is going to be, and what you think we will do different on offense and or defense in order to have success against Ohio State. Leave that down below. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it as a score thing. We're going to have the little contest here. And whoever wins, who's ever got pick the right team to win and has the closest score is going to get a $10 gift certificate to someplace, some restaurant or something. I was going to say Starbucks, but I don't know if I want to do Starbucks. I might do Chick-fil-A or something, or maybe I'll give the winner a choice between 3 or something like that. At any rate, put your thoughts below in terms of the winner and the score, and then it'd also be fun just to have you go into some more detail on how you think we're going to do whatever you think we're going to do. And then after the game, I'll go through and see what the scores are and give out a $10 gift certificate to someplace. And there you have it. So there you go. You have a great day. Go Utes in basketball tonight and on Saturday afternoon. And we'll be back again. I'll probably have a couple of different things next week. One specifically for basketball and then one for football. And that may or may not have a special guest on it. But we will hopefully have a special guest, assuming I can get everything to work the way I need it to, before the game in Pasadena on Saturday, January 1st at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. Make sure you put that on your schedule. Thanks for watching. Make it a great day. And as always, go Utes.